Hey YouTube, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Friday to you. Hope your week's been good. It's been a long week for me. I'm definitely excited for the weekend. Got a business trip planned on Sunday, but more to follow on that. Today, we're going to be talking about macros. So, a lot of the people that I've been talking to, not just about the channel, but about what's been going on with my diet, have been asking me, bro, how did you lose so much weight in such a short amount of time? Like, what it is that you're doing? Like, are you just not eating carbs? Like, are you avoiding fats? Like, what is it that you're doing that's made you so successful? So I'm gonna tell you what I've been doing has been counting my macros, right? Well, what are macros? Well, macros are broken down in 3 areas. Those areas are fats, proteins, and carbs. And most of us assume, because of what the internet likes to tell us, is that we have to avoid carbs in order to lose weight. And I'm here to tell you that that is a lie. Carbs are not the enemy, and you do not need to villainize food to be successful. So what do I mean by villainize food? Villainizing food means that I've turned a cheeseburger or a slice of pizza or maybe ice cream, cookies, brownies, whatever have you, into something to be ashamed of if you have a piece of it. Going to the gym and working out should be a celebration of what your body is capable of. It should not be a punishment for what you ate the night before or earlier that day. And I think we have a toxic mentality when it comes to what we eat and how we make ourselves feel when we're in the gym. So let's start there, right? You do not need to villainize your food. And counting macros is a form of flexible dieting. Flexible dieting will allow you to partake in a lot of these foods that we love, right? Like, everybody loves a slice of cake or some, piece of pie, a cookie, a slice of pizza, or maybe you want to go out and have a beer with your friends, whatever, right? You can still have these things and still be healthy. It's possible, I promise. And you can do that by counting your carbs, counting your proteins, and counting your fat. So how do we do that? How do we calculate what these are, right? So let's start with the basics. Let's start with carbs. Carbs come from your breads, they come from your potatoes, they come from your rice, they can come in forms of sugar, right? Like your vegetables, your fruits, things like honey. These are all carb related items. Now, there's 2 different types of carbs. You have your simple carbs and your complex carbs. Your simple carbs are going to be things that your body breaks down a lot faster, right? Uses them as quick energy. Think fruits, think honey, those types of things, right? Things that are quickly digestible and can aid in that way. Now, your complex carbs are going to be things that your body takes a little bit longer for you to digest. So think potatoes, think rice, things like of that nature. That's what's going to be your carb baseline. Now, going into your proteins. Your proteins can come from your dairy, beef, your poultry, right? Like chicken, turkey. They can come from pork. Basically all the animal kingdom in forms of what you need for protein. Now, for your fats, you're going to get your fats from your nuts, like walnuts, cashews, almonds, etc. Olive oil is good. Avocados, right? Like things like that. You're also gonna want to stay away from bad fats, right? So like, you know, things that are like really greasy, fried foods, greasy bacon. Not to say that you should avoid bacon altogether, because bacon is delicious, right? We all love bacon, but you know, you want to be able to balance that, right? You shouldn't have bacon on every single item that you eat. While it is delicious, you know, too much of a good thing could be bad, right? So those are the fats, those are the carbs, those are the proteins, right? For me, I have a certain breakdown of carbs, proteins, and fats. So for me, what I've been successful with is I changed my carbs, my proteins, and my fats. Maintaining was at 350 carbs, 350 grams of carbs, 225 grams of protein, and 70 grams of fat. June 1st, I made my switch, going from 350 grams of carbs to 225 grams of carbs. I went from 225 grams of protein to 185 grams of protein. And then my fats dropped down to 60. How do I calculate all that? Well, in order to meet the mark, you have to have a measuring tool, right? And that measuring tool for me is MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is an app that you can get online via, you know, your phone, Android, or you know, on Apple's App Store. And what this app allows me to do is input the data of the weight of whatever it is I'm eating, and it does the calculations for me. It's a very simple tool. It's very easy to use. Definitely recommend it. You do have to pay for it, but when you pay for it, it opens up a broader availability for you as the consumer. And what that does is allows you to scan barcodes, and it automatically puts that stuff into your calculations for you depending on the serving size, right? And serving sizes will surprise you. We as a society definitely overeat, right? If you look at the portion size of a meal out at a restaurant, it's definitely bigger than what the rest of the world is eating, right? Like, we have a very big portion problem here in America, and until you go abroad and see what the rest of the world is eating in terms of portion size, you'll really never understand it. But that is what it is. You can still eat these things. You can still go and have, you know, a slice of pizza as long as it's in your macros, right? So like, let's say during the afternoon I want to have a slice of pizza, or you know, we're going through the drive-through or whatnot, and we got to eat whatever meal. MyFitnessPal will allow you to go search up, let's say, McDonald's, and type in Big Mac. The nutritional values of that Big Mac will come up on that app and allow you to work around it. So if you have a good breakfast and a good dinner, hey, maybe you can go take in that Big Mac or some fries or a slice of pizza, cookie, etc. Right? So definitely check that out. For me, I've been staying away from a lot of fast foods. I've been staying away from all fast foods, in fact. I can't remember the last fast food that I've had, but you know, my nutritional goals and my physical fitness goals have just, that they've been more important to me than, you know, a slice of pizza or a beer, things like that. Like I've avoided those things because I want to make sure that I'm bringing my best self into this competition. So I know it does get hard. It is very difficult in terms of, you know, losing weight, right? It's a process, and it's hard, and it's time consuming. But if you love yourself enough to make yourself a priority, then it shouldn't be that big of an issue or that much of a challenge. And I think that's where we kind of lose sight of our own goals, is that we don't make ourselves a priority. We always push work or other family members ahead of ourselves to be selfless, forgetting that we need to be a priority to ourselves, right? And making sure that you're eating correctly can do dividends towards your success in a multitude of areas, right? Eating healthy can change your mood. It can help with so many things like sleep, digestion. I'm not gonna say that it'll help bring you like happiness in terms of like curing your depression and things like that, but what I will tell you is that it will help in the sense of making you feel proud of yourself, because I can't tell you enough, in my own trials, my own tribulations, there was a time where I got well overweight, you know, and I was definitely drinking more than I should have been. I was definitely going out and eating fast food for breakfast, for lunch, sometimes dinner. You know, you just kind of get lazy, and the convenience of fast food is always there. And you know, a lot of people, they'll think like, oh, well, I go to the gym so I can eat what I want. Yeah, that's I understand the mentality, because I too had that mentality before, but understanding that you can't outwork a bad diet, first off, and two, that's really expensive, right? Like, if you're spending, like, and you don't notice it, right? Like, you go to eat lunch in the afternoon, and then let's say you go and eat dinner, right? Like, there's no dollar menu at McDonald's anymore, right? Like, I've been told that it's just a value menu now. And is it really a value if you're spending $15 on just yourself, just to spend that every single day? So if you're spending that much money on fast food just during the week, right? Not during the weekend when you want to go relax and have a good, decent meal at a sit-down restaurant, etc. Like, we have a problem with identifying what is and what is not going to be good in terms of not just your health, but your financial stability, right? Like, man, if I'm spending that much money on fast food or just food in general, that's probably gonna put a pretty heavy dent in my wallet. So eating healthy is good, you know, and it does take a little bit of time, right? It does take me about, I would say, 2-ish hours on Sunday is usually when we meal prep at my house. And you know, my wife, she'll cook the carbs, right? So she'll make the rice, she'll make the potatoes, the vegetables, and then I'll take the meat out and grill. And it usually takes us about 2 hours, right? So if you can dedicate just 2 hours of your time to go cook that food, and when I'm saying cook that food, I'm talking about like, it's like almost a week's worth of food, right? We're cooking chicken, we're cooking beef, we're cooking pork, turkey, shrimp, salmon, you name it, we're making it. And as long as it's lean meats, right? And that's what's helping us meet our goals. 2 hours, you know, the meat's cooked, it's been prepped, it's been cooked, and then we cut it up, we put it in Tupperware, and we've got food for the rest of the week. So there's no excuse for us to have a meal that we have to go out and pay for beyond what we've already paid for our grocery trip. So yes, it takes some time, it takes effort, it's an investment, but you should be important enough to invest in yourself. So we got to stop making excuses. Yes, it's convenient to go get fast food. Yes, I understand that people have children, and you know, there's 1,000 reasons why you can't do what it is that you want to do. But from my own experiences of trying to put on a certain pair of pants, or trying to put on, you know, a certain shirt, or maybe I'm getting ready for, you know, like a special event like a wedding or we're going to a party and we want to dress up, and I try to put on what I used to wear and now I can't because of my choices, like, that hurts. And it definitely brings a certain mentality to you of, you know, where did I go wrong, right? Where did I take that wrong turn, and why is it that I can't fit into this? And, you know, looking yourself in the mirror and seeing not who you thought you used to be, and it brings a lot of anxiety, it brings some depression, and that can mess with your mental health, right? So not just talking about like your physical health, but like that, we often forget that our mental health is important too. And, you know, your celebration of what your body can do in the gym is phenomenal, right? But if you're not looking the way that you want to look, even though you're putting in the work at the gym, you got to make a change. And your change is, you know, it's your diet. So, you know, make the smart decision, make yourself a priority, love yourself enough to admit that maybe we have problems when it comes to dieting, and fast food is definitely not going to get you where you want to be. And you just got to make that admittance to yourself, make yourself a priority, stop making excuses, make your goals more important than your excuses, and, you know, go forward. And you just got to take that first step. And that's all it is just taking that first step and keeping the discipline and due diligence to maintain that, right? And I think that's where a lot of us, we fall off, is we get motivated, and that's great for the first few weeks, you know, but then we don't get that instant gratification because, oh, well, we didn't lose that amount of weight like we wanted to in that time frame, so now it's just not working, so therefore I'm just gonna quit. You can't quit. You got to keep going. You got to push forward. And, you know, don't let yourself fall off the wagon because you hit a roadblock. You know, at every level there's another devil. So if you push past and you keep going, I promise you, you're gonna get there. So, you know, just do what you can. Love yourself enough to admit that maybe you're not where you want to be, or maybe you just want to improve physically, and you'll get where you want to be. You will. You just have to put in the effort. You have to put the investment in, and the investment will pay out. I promise you. So with that said, stay grinding, stay blessed, stay tuned, and I'll catch you next time.